Hey, what's up, Clone Trooper? How's it going, bud? Just getting everything set up here. Aside from dealing with Discord, how's things been going for you today? I couldn't get that out. uh, no, cat, I don't want you.
It's been okay.
Come on. Alrighty. Just going okay so far.
Why are you squished, lol?
That's a good question. Why am I squished? What do you mean, why am I squished? Like it's full size to me. At least on my side. Oh, shit. At least on my side. I switched the, like I flipped the, yeah.
1 sec.
Heads up display now. Heads up display. Yeah, I don't even know, man. I just flipped the screen stuff. Hi, our word good.
I'm sending you something.
Oh. Huh. I don't know. That's weird. Oh. Yeah, I see that now. Oh, that's why it keeps switching to,
You're squished, lol.
Yes, I am. Keep switching to the wrong, like, ratio, resolution, whatever it is. Try this again. Did I not hit the correct?
No, it's black.
Yeah, I deleted the source. Hang on. It's because I'm an idiot. I hit the OBS virtual camera instead of the OBS vertical virtual camera. Hey, B-Tribe Wolf. How's it going, bud? There we go. There. And it's flipped the wrong way now. Why? Why? David, greetings and welcome to the stream. There we go. We are cooking with grease now. No, thank you for catching it. Don't ever be sorry, man. You're good.
Now that's better.
Yeah. It's very nice. Mixing a little drinky here. Byron Bowman, greetings. Welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? How you doing? Ooh, that is awful. Ugh. All right. Byron, how you doing today, man?
As an April joke thing, you should put yourself in the middle between 2 slices of bread, lol.
Hi.
That's a good idea. Fruit Bats, greetings. Welcome to the stream. How's it going?
And good.
Good to hear it, bud.
And then make yourself squished on purpose, lol.
Be interesting. Shouldn't be too hard to do that, I wouldn't assume. Sell. Sell. Sell your soul. I mean, treasure.
And if anyone asks, just say you're a sandwich.
I'm a sandwich. Hikaru, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing? Dingus Khan. Dingus Khan. Dingus Khan. There we go. Sorry. I'll get it right eventually. How you doing today, bud? Stop. Just fill the space.
Am good. Just doom scrolling lol.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you stopping by,
What game
Hikaru.
are you playing?
Fruit Bats, this is called Moonlighter. Kind of not really like Stardew Valley at all. So nothing at all like that. So you run a shop by day, then you raid a dungeon by night, and then gather the treasure and stuff that you're gonna sell in the store.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's relatively chill, but wait till you see the dungeon. It's still it reminds you a lot of like the original Legend of Zelda.
Are you ready for your lessons on the weekend?
Hopefully. I don't know. All I can do is try. Some things I'm a quick learner, some things I'm a slow learner. But we'll see.
What lessons do you have?
Gonna teach me a little bit about Discord bots and how to set them up and do all the more technical stuff that I know absolutely jack shit about. Jonathan, greetings and welcome. How you doing, bud?
Nice.
Nice.
That's one way you can put it, Law.
Sakon, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing? You still? Come on, Grandpa.
At Fruit Bats, I'm teaching him the ways.
Come with me, my brother. I will show you the
Bazunga
way.
dunga my bunga pookie.
Indeed. I'm excited for the dungeon this time. I got some armor finally, so hopefully I won't die quite as quickly.
We said gonna get sa gaming okie day.
I'm down there, Jar Jar. Go get some gaming.
But I don't know what's wrong with your bad word bod.
It's very lenient. We'll go with that. Legume Father, greetings. Welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud?
Because it works on the L1X Discord server.
Huh. I don't know. That is kind of weird. Am I
Bad
not
words
good
are
enough?
fun, like you Janies.
It's funny. Just terrible.
Working on a new cosplay.
Is fun, but we laugh.
Indeed. I absolutely laugh. I have the mentality of a fourth grader.
Everything else about the bot works. Just not the bad word system.
Fair enough. And, what kind of cosplay are you going for this time? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted.
cosplaying as someone who steals copper from their neighbors' houses.
Ah, crack it. Gotcha. It is a fun cosplay. Big Blue, greetings, and Goon. How's it going, guys?
Hoppy.
All right. What you guys up to today? So I need 2 more of the hardened steel. Sagan, who greetings, welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud?
Just grinning today.
Hell yeah. What you going to? Going off to, I should say.
Not going, just grinning to life.
Hell yeah, even better. Yee. There was something shimmering. What the shit? Dumb. User, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Wow. I'm gonna jinx it, but I can't believe I beat him that easily.
Bingo bongo bongo, I don't want to leave the Congo. Oh no, no, no.
Oh, bongo bongo bongo, I don't want to leave the Congo. Oh, no, 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 no.
I'm back.
Welcome back. How's it going? Yeah, Fave Maddie, greetings and welcome to the stream. Dingo, dingo, dango, I'm so happy in the jungle, I refuse to go.
Best song ever.
But no matter how the goats me, I'll stay right here. They have things like atom bomb. So
is a cosplay of a TikToker.
Really? Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. Get down. No, not on me. Get. Yeah, how do you think I feel? Don't get pissy with me, cat. What about the children? It's me. I'm a child. Get off of me. This is me saying no. Oh my god. This is me saying no. How about you get down? You're making me uncomfortable. There we go. Alright. Oh, nothing. Fair enough. I did not even dodge that direction. Oh my god. That is some racist shit. Which TikToker are you going as? Giovanni Barajas. greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud?
Jake Welbo.
Well, okay. I have no idea who that is. What does he stream or do? Yeah. What? Yeah. Ooh, that was. Can I get a? Oh yeah. Neron, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Well, good evening, Brother Afik, welcome. How you doing tonight, man? Man, bud, friend, how's it going? Let me just say it as stupidly as possible. I'm good at it.
Nothing much.
He is a singer.
Oh, cool. Okay. What kind of music does he sing?
Yo.
Yo. Oh, you know what? Let me actually get that weapon first, so I don't have to worry about...
Just listening to Blink
Sir.
182 and plain black dessert.
Hell yeah.
I completed Crimson Dessert.
Nice. What'd you think of the ending?
Evik.
He sings emo, rock.
Cool. Right on.
Evil.
Evil. Oh,
I was a not-so-kind person.
didn't think there was really much alignment stuff you could do in that game.
You can threaten people.
Oh, really? Guess I never got far enough in that. Oh, I guess it helps to open the store first. Jen, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing?
I am not sure how it is going to go. I haven't dressed emo since college.
Gotcha. I'm gonna say it's I used to do the whole goth thing. Miss that on occasion.
Made some lettuce brownies.
Ooh. That would be fabulous. I have not had any infused stuff forever. I miss it.
Used around 500 grams.
Not bad. It'll get you going a little bit. Someday I'll be able to enjoy and partake again. Today is not today. Sad. Howdy, wait. You're so impatient. Like, you let somebody cut in front of you in line.
I'm probably going to get a wig because I don't really want to dye my hair black.
Fair enough. I don't know about you, but I do not look so good with straight black hair. Then again, I also don't have hair now. So, kind of hard to do. Hey, Vic, don't you say it. Don't you say it. You bastard. Yes, the B word.
What bald?
Them's fighting words where I come from.
It's my favorite word.
I bet it is. Coincidentally, it was before you even met me. Bald, bald, bald. My eyes. Oh, okay. Those are worth a lot more than that.
Yes, indeed, my eyes.
I like the voice it said that one into. Oh, okay. So that's too much. Sounds like a good odd number to use. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do either. No. What? Fine. So, Afik, how was your day? Do anything fun and exciting? What? Gotta have weird numbers. I say as I'm at 3:30.
Join the private contractors I told you about.
Nice. How did that try out and all that jazz
We're
go?
going
Sign
to
up?
Ukraine.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, Fruit Bats, I did the same once. And same result. Ukraine would be kind of interesting, especially with all the drone shit. Until you hear the beeping on your detector.
We're not helping Ukraine.
Ah. Yeah. I mean, still, same can be said for the drones and beeping. Wow.
Money is money, right?
I mean, not if it comes at the cost of your
I am diabetic.
values, morals, all that jazz. Kelsey, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going? That's just my opinion, Afik. You do what you feel is right for you. That's all that matters. That's all you can do. Low. Then why'd you... Oh, low why I just went into each one individually. Whatever. Not- Nightwing Johnny, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing, bud? Whee! Let's go. Ooh, 2 hits. All right. Ooh, 1 hit for critical. Okay. I can deal with that. D5.
I am going to go to bed. I have work tomorrow, sad face.
Sad. But hey, Fruit Bats, I appreciate you stopping by, bud. I hope you have a great rest of the night, sleep well, and at least have a halfway decent day at work. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, bud. Dave Bear, greetings and welcome. How you doing tonight?
Are you going to be live on Friday?
Yes, I definitely should. As far as I'm aware. Ooh, I got a spur.
Okay, I will be there.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. Can't wait to see you. Whoop, that was close. Mass just about leapt straight off into it like that. Whee! Oh, there's
Have
not
a
even
good
anything
night,
down
everybody.
here. Hey, you too, bud. Take it easy. Woo. Take it easy. Take it easy. Ah. Ah. There we go. Raphael, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Oh, that's cool. Charge it. Charge it like a card. Wow, that's a lot of damage at least. Hell yeah. Digging the bow already. Oh. Oh, that was dumb. There we go. Jeez. Sometimes it's hard being this dumb. Jojo, greetings. How's it going tonight, bud? How's your bizarre adventure? Sure you've never heard that joke before. And yet I feel surprised when they leave me. Wait a minute. You can block. Well, let's see if I can figure that shit out. I'm not great with time. Actually, I'm great with timing. I'm just, always late. Oh. I'll go. Oh, that's Mike. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Say that's good. Even die this time. I'm proud. Look at me. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Ooh wee. I didn't die. What do I need to upgrade the bow now? Ooh. Ah, need one of those things. Fun time, Alake? Ayake? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Is that 4,000? Hell yeah. Safe, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing tonight? Oh, I need more of those things. You know, the things with the stuff. Teeth things. Let's put that first. Damn, I was hoping they had a way to look at recipes, but apparently not. Score Bunny, greetings and welcome. How you doing tonight? Hey, I appreciate the likes. Thank you. What you been up to today?
Good evening.
Good evening. How's it going?
I was helping a friend move out for the last few days.
Ooh, that is never fun, in my opinion. But how'd it go at least? Is that? But how'd it go?
Went well.
Good. Did they at least pay you in beer and pizza? Those are, in fact, the universal payment for helping a friend move. Goon Squad Puppy, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going?
$83.
Oh, hey, shit, that works too. Kind of a unique amount, but whatever works. E-Wit, greetings, welcome. How you doing tonight?
Going back tomorrow.
Well, I hope it goes well and goes quickly, and it's not too terribly hot wherever you're at. Because that is a great way to ruin, in my opinion, any task. As soon as it gets too hot, I am not a happy camper. So, Goon Squad, P-Wit, how you guys doing tonight? Anything fun and exciting going on? Oh my gosh. Wait at. Oh, hey, shit. Damn. Thank you for the super live. The full thing on there. Yeah, super live star. Shit. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Oh, and thank you, Score Bunny, for the heart me. I didn't even see that. I appreciate it. Both of you very much.
Hard hands welcome.
Much obliged. How you been today, Goon Squad? By the way, what is... I feel like your username is a reference to something. Although I'm a bit embarrassed to give my guess on what it's from. Because it's probably wrong, and it's going to sound real stupid if I guess it. Or is it just your own thing?
Been good, haha, and it's from the agency I'm in, the one Dova's a part of.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a reference to anything. Or at least not like pop culture kind of movies. Something like that. Glad I didn't say what I was going to guess then, because I would have looked really stupid.
We are called haha yeah.
Gotcha. I was going to guess Homeward Bound 2. The movie about the three dogs, or two dogs and the cat that get lost in San Francisco. For whatever reason, there's one line that sticks in my head from Chance, the boxer. It's the Goon Squad! I don't know why, that's immediately where my mind went.
Yes, H.
I'm a little dumb sometimes. I want to watch that series again. It was a good series. They need to come out with a third one. Granted, it would probably be really bad CGI and some shit like that. But, you know.
I do have to get going, but I do hope you have a fantastic life.
Right on, bud. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great one, man. And I hope to see you again soon. Deuces.
You're in super trouble.
I did nothing that you can prove. As far as I know. As far as you know, for that matter. Innocent until
You are
proven
very,
guilty.
very good looking this night.
I am just chilling
you.
and about to eat a late dinner.
Right on. Oh, what are you gonna have for dinner tonight, Score Bunny? We were supposed to have this horrific storm with tornadoes and all that jazz. So we made frozen pizza instead of going to get food. But there was no storm. Well, there's a light storm. Lasted all
Carnitas.
like 5 minutes. Ooh, carnitas. Sound delicious. You love me some Mexican.
I am just looking.
Fair enough. I appreciate it. So,
I have a question.
I have an answer. I keep trying to open a door that's not there. It's still not there. Plot twist.
Should I start calling you sir?
No, that's quite all right. After all, I do prefer master, but you know, a bit excessive. That was a joke.
Okay, Mr. Lol.
I don't know why that immediately made, like, my mind does weird connections with just random phrases, songs, sounds.
I mean, okay, Master Lol.
There you go. But when you said Mister, I immediately thought Fallout New Vegas. When you shoot the rat, when you first get into New Vegas, and the kids run around, gee, thanks, Mister. The whole time. Woo. My mind's dumb. It does whatever it wants. Oh, me. All right. We're cooking with grease. Oh, dang it.
I'm over here sneezing. I think I'm allergic on how good you look, lol.
If you say so. Although, to be fair, my allergy's been awful today as well. Probably because of the rain. Oh, jeez.
Help lol.
I have no power. Woo, I got stuff. Alright. Let's see. Thinking about switching games. Like, this one's alright, but I don't know. Getting a little tiny bit tedious. That might be why I quit
It's
last time.
10:40 at night.
Oh, geez, it is. Yeah, well, I haven't been on that long. Still got enough time to switch. Although I don't know what I would switch to. Thinking like Supermarket Simulator, something like that. Ow, stop blowing holes in my ship.
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty Black Ops. Like, what are you thinking? Like, multiplayer? Zombies?
We can play together.
What was that?
Which one do you have, though?
Lemmy Winks, greetings and welcome to the stream. I don't even know, honestly. I actually might have deleted it because I hadn't played it for so long. I I don't know. How do you... What does that do? Oh. Well, that is not what I wanted to do. Damn it. Hmm. Yay! Unlimited power! Oh, still not that.
I have none NVM.
Fair enough. Lemmy Winks, welcome back. How's it going, bud?
Do you play Payday?
I believe I've got Payday 2, but I have not played it for, like, years. In years. What?
We can get together if you still have it.
Okay. Appreciate it. I'll have
Play.
to... That sounds expensive.
I have a Santa mask on the game.
Hell yeah. Hey, Hellcat, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight, bud? I don't even remember really much about the game. I remember one of the missions is like you've got a meth lab and you're, I mean, making it. That's about all I remember. I want to say there was like one in an art museum or something like that. Oh, well, 200 was way too cheap. Hindsight and all that. All right. figure out how to expand the shop. So what kind of computer games do you recommend? Like, I'm wanting more stuff for the computer. Like, I'm open to the idea of like multiplayer games, like Peak or what are the other ones? RV There Yet? Those kind of games. Or what's the other one? Repo. But then I'm also wanting something I can really get into that's not like super over the top like Crimson Desert, like in depth, that kind of stuff. But then on the other side, I'm also looking at Star Citizen. Send me something. Ooh, okay. You look fabulous as Santa Claus. I don't know. Because I want to be able to play with a couple other streamers, and they had suggested Repo, RV There Yet, or Peak. But I feel like those ones are getting kind of old already. I don't know.
Imagine what a child thinks when they see that.
Pain, suffering, death, I fear. That's what they... That's my best guess anyway. Flamingo Biscuit, greetings. Welcome to the stream.
What are you playing his evening?
Right now I'm playing Moonlighter.
The kid says, Mama, why is Santa robbing a bank, lol?
But I'm looking to switch to something else. I just don't know. I don't know if Payday is what I'm feeling tonight, but possibly in the future. But I don't know. I need more suggestions. And I was just asking Clone Trooper there. I need recommendations for more computer games. Like, I'm looking for like multiplayer games, partially, like Peak or Repo, those kind of games. But I
play console games.
I do play console as well. That's what I'm on right now, in fact. But I don't know. I want something that'll really draw me in, but not quite as super
Don't
over
ask me
the top.
PC game suggestions, lol.
As like Crimson Desert, that kind of stuff. T. Molnar, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing? Oops. Smack the microphone. What? Oh, that's dumb. Well, fine. I didn't want to buy your upgrades anyway. Rude. Oh my gosh. Cat hair. My nose. It's killing me. Ugh. Score Bunny, you got any recommendations? What? That was dumb. Yeah, I'm not going that way. 'Cause that's where the boss is. The hell did I come?
I don't really know much PC games.
Ah, that's alright. shit. That is absolute balderdash. Unfounded. Or some shit. I don't know. Hey, thank you for the share. Appreciate it. Woo! I made the best. Tyler, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight, bud?
Today drained me from mental and physical. I'm tired.
I totally did not read that as tired at first. I'm not going to say what I thought I read that as, but that is not it. Haunted Games, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight, bud? It's the sparkles. There.
The hair needs to be shaved.
It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets
At
the
Haunted
hose
Games
again.
House High.
At hashtag score bunny 88 hey score.
Haunted, how you doing tonight, bud? Anything fun and exciting going on?
This morning I was tired, the afternoon I'm tired, and dealing with what I just dealt with I'm tired. Dinner
sounds
is ready,
about
I'll
right.
be back. I got reported.
Oh, I'm sorry. You think it was that same asshole that was giving you a hard time? Like making those shitty videos about you and all that?
But I'm used to it. I think so.
Man, I'm sorry. That shit sucked. And Clone, I definitely hear you about being tired all the time. Shit sucks, too. Connor, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight, bud? What you up to? That is not a door. I don't know where I'm going, but it ain't that way. Oh,
BRB, I'm
shit.
going to send you a message that you can read it now or later I'll be back.
Okay. Sounds good, bud.
I am still gonna stream on here IDC what people think of me.
Good. Still, that just seems so bizarre to me. Like, go out of your way to make hate videos about somebody else that you barely even know, like just another streamer. Just because you felt jilted or something. That's just so foreign to me.
And plus have a secondary account.
Yeah, that's, man, stupid. I'm sorry you got to deal with that. Is there any way to, like, I mean, I guess TikTok only really does, like, kind of the simple reports. Like, there's not any way to provide details for what they're doing. I guess you could probably say harassment or something like that. But, man, that's stupid. No! Ah, you bitch.
Done.
Done. All right. I will check it out in just a little while.
You can read it whenever you have time.
Oh, right. N7, Land Easy. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight, bud?
It's like a paragraph or a few paragraphs long, lol.
Right on. Jeez, that's expensive. Oh. Wait a minute. Ah, damn it. Spent all my money. Should have bought that other town upgrade.
I plan on going to bed very soon, so if you respond, don't expect a quick response.
Oh, I got you, clone.
To
Right on, bud.
Ooh,
That was like mind numbing for a little bit. That was weird. So I wonder if that's like the literal transliteration of what those symbols mean or what sound they make. Kind of interesting.
Tatai?
I mean, it's consistent, so maybe.
lol.
Yeah. Arabic or Middle Eastern languages, those are so hard to understand. Bethany, greetings and welcome to the stream. What?
At Haunted Games House, we are tickling his brain, lol.
Oh, you're tickling something. I don't know if it's my brain.
At Clone Trooper lol. To tie. Ooh,
So is that Arabic or is that Hindi? It looks Arabic to me. Persian, maybe? Raleigh. Junior Rowley? J. Rowley? J. Raleigh? How's it going? However you say your name. Welcome. How you doing?
Why is this so funny, lol?
Because text-to-speech is one of the greatest inventions. Now that's all I got to say about that. J. Raleigh and Neron. Welcome back, Neron. How you doing? Oh, shit. Hey, thank you. Appreciate the follow, bud.
You want to know the true reason why the chainsaws were originally made?
I don't know if I do, but yes. Do tell. So is it J. Raleigh or is it Junior Rowley? You got to tell me, man. I'm dying over here.
Fun fact of the day: in the 19s, chainsaws were originally made to help girls to give birth.
I don't have enough facts to dispute that. So I will take you at your word. I feel like I saw something ridiculous like that. Like on Facebook or some shit. Ghost Kitty cosplay. How's it going? What is Ghost Kitty? And how do you cosplay?
It was to open the
Sounds
body up
interesting.
more. Let's just say it like that.
Gotcha. Fair enough. I figured it would be the rigorous vibration. But maybe I'm thinking about another tool there.
Hey, be happy you learned a fun fact about the commonly used chainsaws lol.
I'm always happy to learn fun facts.
Now you will see a chainsaw differently now lol.
No, I'll still see it exactly the same, if you know what I mean.
But that must be so painful, though.
I cannot even imagine. I'm so glad I don't have to give birth or anything like that. Worst we get as men is testicular torsion. About it. Maybe the occasional ball tap. And if you don't know what testicular torsion is, you're in for a very rude
You
awakening.
just go to the hospital in the 19s and you just hear girls screaming lol.
Oh, they've just got the vapors. They're not in pain. Julian Breton, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing, hi bud?
Oh boy, the world will be interesting if they still use chainsaws for that exact reason.
Yeah. I guess it's a good thing scalpels were invented. Okay, so I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of what the name actually is
The doctor
right
pull
now.
out a chainsaw
But,
and they're like, okay, let's begin.
I would be like, nope, I'm out. Forget what it is, but with they take the ice pick in your eye and tap it to puncture your, not the cerebral cortex, the frontal cortex. I don't know, something like that. I can't remember what the name of it is now. But yeah, that. Glad they don't do that anymore either. Lobotomy. There we go. Lobotomy. You ever hear the sound simulation of a lobotomy?
I mean, you would definitely know if a girl had a baby recently in the 19s lol.
Oof, yeah, just completely tore up stomach. Because I'm assuming the stitches couldn't be that good back then either.
Let's just say good thing they stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can only take so many malpractice lawsuits after losing so many patients.
And I would have to guess the reason they stopped because of the deaths.
Yeah. Only have so many people bleeding out. You know?
Seems like I'm the only one keeping you entertained, besides the game, of course.
So far. But I'm glad to have you here. Not only for that reason, but especially for that reason.
It seems like it's me and a good-looking guy.
Where? I'm the only other person in the stream right now.
You.
Aha. Well, thank you. Getting tired of these slimes trying to eat my clothes or whatever it is slimes do. Ooh, what kind of games are you looking forward to coming up here? In this, new year. Damn. Damn, Daniel. What are those?
GTA 6.
GTA 6, alright. I would like to try out the new Sword Art Online. Like, I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit different than the other games. Hey, Angel, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Ah, damn it. Stupid.
How are you?
Doing all right so far. A little bit tired, but not too bad.
BRB.
All right. Noang Furi Sherpa. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going? Yeah,
I have news.
Ooh, news. Is it good news? Bad news? Neutral news, even. Oh my gosh. Gunnar, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud?
So the original purpose for a chainsaw is for that, but it's supposed to cut through pelvic bone.
Ooh. I guess I can see that. No! Oh, shit. I'm out.
I love how I can see your face as you think lol.
Hockey Monarch and Novadere Dales Juanita? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, it took me a little bit to figure out your name there.
You're thinking so hard.
It is hard to multitask, thank you. Especially when you've been drinking. Nope. Not what I want. Alright. I'm gonna find a different game to play. I have Chivalry? When did I download that? I don't even know what that plays like. I don't think I ever actually played Chivalry. Giggle Wolf.
It's insane
Greetings.
how
Welcome
the
to the stream.
chainsaw
How's it going?
used to been a medical tool.
I mean, I'm sure there's a couple like that that are just so out of this world, like you would never guess. I'm gonna try that. All right. Excuse me as I switch all of my stream information to a new game. Bear with me if you would.
But now the chainsaw is used to cut down trees.
I mean, talk about a change in use. That's a pretty significant one. Come on.
Agreed.
There we go. Oh, it's one word.
The only difference is when one of them is soft then hard, and then the other one is just hard lol.
Hate it when that happens. Hey, you know, it gets cold sometimes. Hey, Fick, welcome back. Just in time.
Four?
D's. He's nuts. Ah, got him.
I'm hopping on.
Are you? Okay. Let me quit the new game. Sorry. I'm down. Nope, still not that. That is not what I select at all. Joining. Jatlas, greetings and welcome. How's it going, bud?
Actually seems I can't.
Aw.
GTG.
Recent file. Oh, right on, clone. Hey, I appreciate you hanging out, bud. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Oh, geez, we got a bunch of money for some
Make
reason.
sure you can respond to my text message whenever.
Okay. Can do, will do. And what's it doing to you, Afik?
And remember, keep looking lovely.
Thank you. You as well.
Apparently not the correct Game Pass.
Oh, no. Jim Bill, greetings and welcome to the stream, bud. How's it going? Oh, shit, I'm not going to play on our save. That's just for us.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen. Take it easy, bud. And actually, I will be right back. I'm going to go to the restroom, get a refill, and be back on. Bear with me just a couple minutes, my friends, and I shall be back.
Hello.
Hey, Thunder, welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing? And Zyrusism, greetings. Sorry if you guys left already. I'm just getting back from restroom break.
I am doing good, you.
I'm doing fairly well, thank you. Just chilling, playing some, well, just starting up some Supermarket Simulator.
That's good to hear.
What you been up to today, ma'am?
I've been relaxing at home and went to the store with my mom. How about you?
Right on. Oh, just, work, come home, take care of kids, play some games. That's about it. Hey, thank you for the share, bud.
Welcome.
Oh, anything fun and exciting going on for you today? Aside from the relaxing and going to the store? Stuffy Rants, greetings and welcome.
No, but I did end up getting sick last night.
Ooh, sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling at least a little bit better today.
Thanks. I feel better now.
Good. Glad to hear it. That is never a fun thing. So you talking like nauseous sick or like severe out the other end kind of sick? Or something else entirely?
Throwing up sick.
Ooh. That is definitely not the most fun thing to do. You think you just ate something or what? Purple Poves? Purple Pulp OVHS? Whatever. How's your name? Or how's your day? Not how's your name. How's it going?
I think it's from either eating something or stress.
Ooh. Yikes, that is not fun. I'm glad you're at least feeling better today. Zora Core, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight?
Thanks. I am glad it was a come and gone thing.
Yeah, definitely. Emphasis on the come, right? Well, actually, with puking, I guess. Emphasis on the gone. You know, I wish they'd put a little bit more effort into these games, make the people a little bit less dead looking. Are you serious? 91? 91, 50, 70. Oh. Whoops. I gave him money back. Well, I suppose that's good for business, right? You look like you vote for Hillary. Six-piece nugget. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? What you up to? 1 bag of pasta. That's all you got. Yeah, well, flour, not sugar. Oh my gosh. 95 and 25. Richard Garrison, greetings and welcome to the stream, bud. Hey, thank you for the likes and the follow, man. Much obliged. How you doing today? Also need to buy
Pretty
some
good
pasta.
eating some spaghetti.
Ooh, I do like me some spaghetti. Thunder, thank you for the share again, man. Much obliged. So we talking like just classic spaghetti and red sauce, or got something extra special?
Welcome.
Could you hold your card still, ma'am? Oh, there's the Hillary voter again. You may vote for Hillary, but you got a fine ass. Did I say that? Right. Almost done with the first day. I need some Earl. Yeah, Richard, any special kind of pasta or just regular basic spaghetti and red sauce kind of?
Oh shit, haha, my bad. Yeah, I had some mushrooms in the sauce, but other than that, just your classic.
Hell yeah. Nothing wrong with a classic. There's a reason it was a classic. Oh yeah, good shit. What would you say your favorite food is? Or at least top three favorites. Need azúcar and however you say flour. And yeah, that's about it for now.
That's a tough one, man. I got a pretty wide palate, but steak, watermelon, and fish.
Right on.
I could do for some more fruit and vegetables, though.
Yeah, my diet is unfortunately not very healthy and or varied. I love
The voice
all
is
kinds
low.
of food. But yeah. The voices, what do they tell you? Steak is always good. Christine, greetings and
Whatever
welcome.
program you
How's it
have
going?
narrating the caption is funny.
Yeah, that's just Tickfinity is the name of the program. But yeah, I like it. It does random voices and it's got some real funny ones sometimes. Rarely, but sometimes. What'd you do today, ma'am? Anything fun and exciting? I'm just well, not shopping, but I'm just here selling shit, making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I know. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, oh. There we Like how cereal, which is generally considered a non-perishable, perishes.
I'm probably buying you Black Desert for Xbox.
Oh, that's all right. I played Black Desert a little bit. I wasn't too big a fan. It was okay. It just kind of felt like a super generic MMO. Athena, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing today? What you been up to today, bud?
You'll understand more about Crimson Desert.
Oh, I gotcha. Aaron, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing? Oh, no. Let's see. 50, 60, 75, 85. Just saying, that's pretty racist, having pasta go bad.
Bro, I managed to beat TD before you.
I'll be honest, that one's been a little bit hard for me to get into. There's just so much to it. Flour, bread, that'll be good. But I'm glad you liked it, at least. It's just, I feel like it's so in-depth. Like, there's just so much to it. It's hard for me to get into.
I managed to stunlock one of the bosses by doing wrestling moves lol.
Nice. Seen a couple of different playthroughs where they do something like that. Nice.
Look, Trevor.
Wow, I totally did not buy 2 things of bread, but, you know, whatever.
Did you not see Trevor?
Trevor? No. In Crimson Desert?
The guy in the red shirt.
Oh. No.
Imagine getting suplexed 30 times.
That is my wildest fantasy, as it happens. By big gothic muscle mommy, you know. You didn't hear that from me.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
They gave me a uniform and patches.
Nice. What patches? Just your basic
Multicam.
Yeah. Multicam is always a classic.
I think I accidentally joined Wagner.
I mean, very possibly. Wouldn't catch me doing it, but that is me and not you. That's all that matters. Need cereal and oil. Whoa. That's okay. Why that happened. Weird. So what is your job going to be? Quinn the Renegade. Greetings. Welcome to the stream. How's it going?
Fortifying some base.
Fair enough.
Hey Freakshow, day's going good, just ended my stream.
Oh, right on. What were you doing tonight, Quinn, for the stream? What the what?
Ballers Gate 3 and some of the cosplay build.
Hell yeah. Some of the cosplay build? What are you doing for the cosplay?
My OC from D&D Pirate Warlock Human.
Nice. Well, that's pretty cool, at least. Really? Water's got to be refrigerated? Seems kind of... Curious what a pirate warlock would look like. Like just a regular pirate with a hood or a cape. Oh wait. Oh no no no.
Think pirate with blue magic eyes tattoos ECD.
Ooh. I like it. Big fan of blue. That sounds right up my alley.
Not can't tell all.
No. I don't give any hints for my favorite color, do I? It's blues and greens, in case you're curious. Oh, thank you for the heart me, by the way. I just saw that. Sorry.
Nice, nice. What are we playing tonight?
Well, I started out with some Moonlighter, and then now I'm playing Supermarket Simulator. Not want to buy two of those. Whatever. Ibrahimyan, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight, bud? It's y'all boy Yuli. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight? Hold still. Damn it. We'll go into any more Ren fairs soon. Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, closing out Sherwood Forest Fair on the 18th to 19th, then headed to Waco, Texas for the next one.
Nice. And do you just like role play and like shop around and stuff, or do you actually have like a vendor, or rather, do you, I guess, vend? You sell shit? Forget if I asked that before. Probably did. I do not have the best memory. Oh, nope.
Don't think so. I work the fair as a character. Time to time I do sell leather work but not vendor.
I gotcha. Still, that'd be fun to be able to go fair to fair and just enjoy yourself like that. Did you get paid to work as a character, or are you just doing it for fun? Wow, I like how oil can spoil. That makes sense.
It's paid acting pretty much.
Right on. Man, that'd be fun. I wouldn't mind doing shit like that. Taking a lot of pictures with people at the Ren Fair. Like, they think I'm one of the actors, but about it.
Right people, right time is how I got lucky in doing it.
Nice. Oh shit, that's all it's about. Timing is everything. Oh yeah, I forgot I got another drink. Ooh. Ugh. Tried a new rum tonight. Not a fan. Whew. Ugh.
Why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone? Second best movie song, you know, next to they're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Oh, it didn't pick up the message before that lull.
Aw. Try again. McLovin Media and Gaming Company. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight, bud? Hey, thank you for the roses, man. And the likes. Much obliged. And thank you, everybody, for 2.4K likes. I appreciate you very much. McLovin, how's your night going? Oh, shit. Hey, thank you for the follow, too, man. That's awesome. Taking the hobbits to Isengard. Tea, flour, cereal, sugar. Oh, shit, I don't have enough. It's y'all boy, Yui. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going today? Again. Turns out I did not. Oh, no, I guess I did need sugar a little bit. Give me some sugar.
Curious, how do you have the voice eye active?
So I am using Tickfinity. And then you just use the source as a browser or add browser source. There we go. And yeah, it does the rest. Only downside with Tickfinity is it does not read if you're multi-streaming like I do. Why did I get tea and not coffee? That was stupid. I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, it does not read your other sources. So, kind of a downside. But, you know, that's also what I use for, like, my tracker, which is apparently not showing right now.
Good to know. I've just been using Studio and Twitch time to time.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, so far I'm using OBS Studio. Before I was using, like, just the regular OBS stream for Twitch and then projecting the virtual camera to TikTok and then using, like, just adding it as a camera source just to, slim down on bandwidth and all that. Now I'm doing Restream, just the free version for now. So I'm doing YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. And I'll be damned if I'm going to say red or purple apps. Granted, I do frequently just say that, but, whatever. Southern Outlaw. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going tonight, bud? And Zoricor, are you lurking or are you in the stream right now? Quinn, what are some of your, like, not even asking for number one or top five, what are some of your favorite movies? Also, on a side note, am I the only one who randomly has spam added to my calendar on my phone? And if you have had or have that happen, how did you deal with it and get rid of it, more importantly? I just had an appointment pop up for review your renewal, something or other, some kind of bullshit. Tatiana, привет, товарищ. Меня зовут your Freakshow. Как дела? Taking the hopeless guys and gals.
OFAV, that's a hard one. Pirates of the
Surf,
Caribbean.
greetings,
Screen 1.
welcome to the stream.
Freddy v. Jason.
Okay, so you do like some horror. That's fair. Which pirates would you say is your favorite of the series? Because me, it's all about 1 and 2. 3 is okay, but 4 was a no-go for me. Also, wasn't there a 5? I don't even remember. I lost track.
Original is the goat law.
Agree. I did like Davy Jones. I thought he was cool. But yeah, Black Pearl is definitely the best.
I feel 2 to 3 were just one long movie together, still good though.
Yeah, I could see that. At this point, you know, they know people will sit there and binge watch 5 hours worth of movie. So I don't know why they don't just start doing like a full movie that's 5 hours long. Like, yeah, it'd be a pain at first, but I think people would get used to it real quick. Oh, I shorted. My bad. Then again, you know, more money if you release multiple movies, I suppose, right?
Only movies I'll sit through that long as director's cuts of The Lord of the Rings.
Hell yeah, my guy. Gotta love the director's cuts. Aren't they doing another Lord of the Rings movie? Like, is it the Smeagol or Golem one or whatever? Or is it something else? I feel like I'd heard something about it. I just can't remember. I know they were doing the new game, but aside from
I know they were going the game, but it's not giving good reviews.
yeah, like they were really playing hard on the whole, oh, you can, free roam and travel all the way from the Shire to Mordor and so amazing. We need more than, you know? We need cereal, oil, flour, and coffee. Oil, flour, coffee.
I wish they remade the original on PS2 that they made.
Ooh. Okay, which one? Like the regular trilogy ones? I think I've got one of those. I need to play that. I don't think I ever actually have
The
played
trilogy, yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I remember playing those with my best friend when
Think
I
you were
was
playing
just a
Return of the
kid.
King a while back, though, or someone I follow was.
Yeah, somebody you follow must have been. Although I did just get my RCA to HDMI converter, so now I actually can play it on my PS2. Or I've also got an N64 as well. I can't find any of my good games, which is kind of disappointing. Oh.
Sweet. Yeah, I am a console collector myself.
Nice. I've still got an original Nintendo and NES. I think we've got a Wii, but never really cared for Wii. And I've got a. What else do I think we got a PS1. I'm gonna have that stupid
SNES
taking the
001
hobbits to
barcode may be
Isengard.
my favorite system.
001 barcode? Alright, I need cheese, Gromit. We need more cheese and milk and water. Cheese, milk, and water. Alright.
One of the first models, but yeah, that Hobbit song is stuck in my head as well.
Misery loves company, right? How did we bloody why? Ooh, turns out I really did need that coffee.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
The hobbits, the hobbits, the hobbits, the hobbits. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. God, 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 God. Hey. Those are expensive. Oh, I need something a little bit more upbeat or fast paced anyway. I'm dragging. And not the fun kind of drag. Ooh. Modi USA, greetings. Welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud?
Rum hitting the tongue a little rough there.
Yeah, they didn't, like, they're not stocking the rum I usually get anymore. I guess the owner was the only one that drinks it or drank it before he died, and so they were just selling all their stock they had left. It was super cheap, not great, but it was cherry flavored, and it went down easy. So now I'm drinking some regular spiced rum, and ooh, it is also a lot stronger than the kind I used to get. Oh shit! Hey, speaking of Lord of the Rings, I don't know if I'll be able to even show it
Should
very
try
well.
Thorin's mead.
But I got a. It's not gonna focus. I got a One Ring. Of course, it's not gonna focus, but glows in the dark, and it's pretty. Yuck. I wish the camera would autofocus, but oh well. Thorin's mead. I do like mead. I've had that a handful of times. Where can you find Thorin's mead? Because unfortunately, they do not seem to have it, or any mead really, local here. They've got one type of mead. It's actually a local brew, but not great.
Believe they sell it those specs. It's a Texas made, so unsure depending on your local.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas, so we don't have anything fun here. Damn it. Can't get this stupid song
It can
out of
be
my
ordered
head.
online, lol.
Oh, fair enough. I always forget you can actually do that. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a thing, you know? Excuse me, while we get everything re-centered, organized. Oh. So, I don't even have it installed? Damn it. I was just about to say, well, I've never played it before, but I think I'm going to try Rocket League. I don't have it installed. Damn. Awkward. Wait. Yeah. Damn, that was like the kind of faster paced game, I think, that I needed. Okay. Let's try Steam. We'll see what Steam has to offer here. Yeah, okay. So the only good kind of meat I've actually had, sorry, getting back sort of on topic here, it's a brand called Honeywood Mead. It's out of Oregon. That's some good shit. Although they seem to be either mostly really good or there's the occasional bad. Like where it's just that real kind of dirty, kind of flavored meat. I don't even know how to describe it. Really not have shit. Ugh. Actually, maybe you can help me, Quinn. I'm looking for, really just suggestions for PC games. I got a new PC.
PG3 is right there in cross platforms, just saying lol.
True. I do have that. I need something faster paced. I need to download Shop. But I'm usually a console player, like Xbox. Masterpiece. But anyway, forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah. So I'm new-ish to actual PC games. I need recommendations. Like I'm not opposed to like multiplayer games like RV There Yet or Repo or Peak, that kind of stuff, as long as I've actually got somebody to play with. But I don't know. I just need like regular game recommendations. I've been really tempted to
Ready or
get.
not.
Honestly, actually, Ready or Not would probably be the type of game I need right now. When does summer sale start? I think that's in May, isn't it? Afik, I promise, I will buy that.
Should just get it.
Not for $50. I'm cheap, remember? But I promise, once summer sale starts, if that game goes on sale, I will buy it. Just to play with you.
I am not the one for that wreck. I am a story lover, bro.
Okay. Well, what are some good story games? Like, I like Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption. I really want to like Crimson Desert, but it's so in-depth and overwhelming for me. I cannot get into it. Baldur's Gate, unfortunately, is kind of the same. Like, my brain is just not that deep. Like, I did Resident Evil Requiem, and that was all right. Wasn't too bad. Didn't have much of a story, but Subnautica was awesome. But I do need something with like a goal or drive to it. I love games like Valheim or Minecraft or Imperion.
Red Dead?
I do have RDR2, Red Dead Redemption. Well, actually, I've got both, but I need something new, you know, but not overwhelming for my tiny brain.
Cyberpunk?
I do have Cyberpunk. I love Cyberpunk. That's a great game. Damn it. Get the fuck out of my head. Oh my gosh. That's stupid.
I usually
song.
run Nomad on 2077.
Nice. I usually do either Nomad or Corpo. But definitely like Corpo Rebel, you know. I was cast out, so now I hate the corporations. Down with the corporations, man.
Down with Corpo.
Yeah. Yo, Ophless, welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing tonight? Willkommen. Actually, Oathless, maybe you can help. I know I've asked you. I know I've asked you a dozen times, but I need some recommendations for PC. So Oathless. I was just going over with Quinn the Renegade there, the kind of games I do like. I like story games, but my brain is too small to deal with
Story,
something.
multiplayer, genre?
My brain is too small to deal with games like Crimson Desert, or as much as I like it, Witcher. It's just too much. I need something like Skyrim, Fallout.
Human.
I did play Detroit on PlayStation. That was all right. Fiduci, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How's it going? I need something new. Resident Evil was okay. I'm not usually much of a horror fan, but it was pretty decent. It wasn't like over the top for mechanics or anything, so it was easy enough to get into.
If you want a simple brain off game, Loop Hero is my brain is fried from work game.
Loop. Okay. Let me check that out. I'm really tempted to get like not here. Star Citizen.
Loop Hero is more of an idle game, but it's fun.
It's like semi-idle. Also banger soundtrack.
I do actually like the soundtrack so far. Doesn't look like my kind of game. Generally more of a FPS. Again, like games like Skyrim, Fallout, Cyberpunk. A little bit faster paced, but not like super overwhelming. I actually do really like that soundtrack.
They did announce Gothic 1 Remake pre-order.
Oh, I did see that actually, just today in fact.
You like Skyrim, you try Fallout?
I have played Fallout 3, 4, and New Vegas. I do love all of those.
Which was the Morrowind contender?
Ooh, I do have Morrowind actually on Xbox, like OGX. Oh, you're saying Gothic was the Morrowind contender? I will have to look or try out Gothic once that comes out.
Oblivion Remaster?
I did play it on like when I still had the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass, whatever. It's pretty good. I've played since Morrowind, so I do like those kind of games. Although Morrowind was definitely a little bit more difficult with the journal, but I do kind of like that. Difficult, sorry.
I still have problems with Oblivion level scaling, but I still love it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. June 5th. Looking forward to Fable when that comes out. I'm
Worse
also
than a woman picking what she wants to eat, lol.
Dude, I am so indecisive, like really bad. Shit, what was I gonna say? Fable. Nope, I lost it.
If you like Fallout, Stalker series, or Metro.
I think I tried Stalker, like the original one. I have played Metro 2033, beat the first one. I have not done any of the others, though. Metro was okay. It was. I'm not that that game was really horror necessarily, but not big into the horror. But then again, I guess Resident Evil was a nice change of pace, so maybe not so bad. But hey, 3 is good. Oh, I was gonna say, I
Strategy
am
player?
open to multiplayer, as in like, what is it, Repo, Geek, RV there yet. I'm open to trying one of those, but I gotta have somebody to play with, you know. So if you suggest it, you're gonna have to play with it all night
I need
long.
to look in Road to Vostok, and there's a few first-person Zomboid likes. Like Artem.
Art. Haven't heard of that one. Oh, kind of a DayZ looking type deal.
It's new indie, under the radar, but a vintage story streamer I watch is on the team.
Okay. Looks like a cross between DayZ and shit. What's the one on Xbox? There's 2 of them now. Another zombie game. Can't think of what it's called. Third one is going to be coming out soon, and they announced that it's going to be a lot darker and less comedic than the first 2 games.
Strategy I like Age of Series. Dishonor is good, fast-paced, made by Bethesda.
I did play Dishonored.
State of Decay,
the
I
first
was
one.
on their
State of
unofficial
Decay.
forums
Thank you.
before they had a game title.
Yeah, State of Decay. That was the one.
I have a few Christmas cards from them.
No shit. That's pretty cool. Ether, and I didn't catch the other guy. Ozzy, greetings. Welcome to the stream, guys. How you doing tonight? I'm needing something a little bit faster paced than DayZ, State of Decay, and this game. Because I've got a couple of pretty good, like, slower paced games like that. None of which I can think of right now. But I've got them. Zoe Benz, greetings. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I know it's totally the opposite of everything I've said so far, but I'm looking forward to Hawthorne whenever that comes out. That's the kind of reminds you of Redwall, if you ever read or watched that series, like the mice and all that kind of village builder. Don't PR anymore. Those Eco would be kind of if I had somebody to play with, because I guess that's one of those ones you got to have multiplayer for it to be any good. Ready or not, I do want to get that once it goes on sale again. I should have got that one when it was on sale. X4. Here's Hawthorne. I've heard Kenshi is really good. Kind of makes me think of, at least the way it's been described.
Oh, the Forever
like
Winter,
Conan.
Project Silverfish, needs time to cook but indie acid stalker like. Return to Moria, Minecraft with better engine with Lord of the Rings skin.
Okay. So I've looked into the game a little bit, but I don't know. Wouldn't be opposed to Return to Moria necessarily. I've heard these two games are pretty good. The Wandering Village and Story of Seasons. Stardew / oh my gosh, my brain is not working today. Fuck's sake. Yeah, now it's gone. Anyway, heard those two are pretty good. I'm looking forward to Echoes of Einkrad. I'm hoping that is
Vintage
better.
Story if you want a more immersive crafting Minecraft.
Vintage Story, okay. And then, of course, like I mentioned, Repo, Peak, and Review. Oh, Vintage Story. Let me try that. Sounds interesting.
Vintage is on its own website, I will say.
Oh. No, not. Damn it. No. Nope. What is the point of big picture mode? Who uses that?
You craft in real world though. Pick kilns, smithing per voxels on heated ingots, etc.
Smithing voxels on heated. I don't even know what that means. I'll be honest. Smithing per voxels on heated ingots. That sounds like some other language. Cole, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How
Ryan,
you doing?
what's up, bud?
Not much. Just chilling, trying to find some new games to play on PC. How you doing, Cole? I think you're the one that suggested this one to me before, aren't you?
I am, but just sitting here.
It's really loud. Oh, goodness. Sitting here? All right. You're not on shift, are you, Cole? Don't worry, I won't tell. It's more of like a realistic survival horror Minecraft.
Just wanted to say hey and I can't tell you that lol.
Got you, bud. No worries, man. I appreciate you stopping by, Cole. You're more than welcome to hang out. Promise I won't say. But if not, I appreciate you stopping by. Endure temporal storms. Ooh. Under the 4 seasons. It's like Minecraft hardcore. Robert Benson, greetings. Welcome to the stream, bud. How you doing?
The more you drink, the better the taste.
I was gonna say at this
You
point,
find Black
honestly,
Iron
I
versus
can't
Vintage Story
really
Iron has a good comparison.
taste much at this point. To Minecraft Iron versus Vintage Story Iron. Okay.
I lost the game.
The people, damn it, it's you again. You and your game. Welcome, how's it going, man? Ah, we got some OGs in here. Hell yeah, Quinn.
Moo ha 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 ha. I've been lacking in my duties.
You said dudes. What's the other one? I wonder if that one's still on sale. I'm so tempted to get Star Citizen, but I'm so afraid to spend money on that game because I'm afraid I won't like it. Like, I like Elite Dangerous, but I also do kind of get bored of it after a while. And Elite Dangerous is really the only reference point I have for Star Citizen. Sorry, that was kind of a big jump from your vintage story versus, the exact
Mon
opposite.
playing Eve makes me want to try Star Citizen. X4 Foundation's like a single player like game.
I'll just play some Warhammer.
Shit. Yeah, I should have got X4 when that was on sale. And Warhammer, I was not a big fan of. I guess I only played like Vermintide a little bit, and then there's one other Warhammer I played, um, the Space Marine one. It was okay, but it just felt like a Gears of War knockoff to me. Let's see. So, the people, how are you doing tonight, man? What you been up to? By this point, I probably could have downloaded the game I was actually
Gears
gonna.
now, but Warhammer was before Gears, just a TTRPG.
I am glad I wasn't the only one that felt like it's Gears of War with a shallow story.
Right? Like, and the controls felt even more clunky, if that's even possible. I apologize. I have the dumb tonight. It's not my night with the brain cell. What is TT?
Fast-paced gritty survival is forever winter, and it's tabletop RPG.
Oh, tabletop. That
Tabletop roleplay game.
Fair enough. Thank you. 1-800 Shit Pizza. Greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Did like art. I need more, like, not necessarily motivation, but like instruction. Not even instruction. Goals. Yeah, there we go. I need more goals. Clear plan goals that I need to make my weapons. Not even necessarily mission based, but like the complete empty free roam like Minecraft, that kind of stuff. It just I'll get to the point where I'm self-sufficient and then I'll get bored because there's nothing to keep me interested in.
They did change a lot of Forever Winter since launch.
Well, you did
I
say
had to
Forever.
travel
I
in
didn't look that
tunnels
up
to
yet.
get to maps.
Moria has a good
Travel.
story to it.
Oh, I can spell. Nope.
Fast travel costs water, which is a precious resource.
The lore is cool. AI mechs are worshipping gods. Big futurism dystopia.
Why are they all so bulky? I don't know. I don't like the overly bulky characters.
You're not the main character. It's very pick your battles.
Okay. I mean, that's always a good thing. Bulky always makes me think immediately Gears of War. Just heavy characters. Random half-nude robot things. Interesting. Oh, shit. Phoenix Odyssey, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? And thank you for the share. Much obliged. Not a lot, just trying to think of new games to try out. You have any suggestions for PC games?
What's wrong with half nudes robot things? Lol.
Oh, not a single thing is wrong with that.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Played that. I do love Hogwarts Legacy. It's a good game. I'm trying to find something new. I don't.
Tiny Tina's.
Is that on Game Pass? I feel like that's on Game Pass.
I saw Valheim so ill-pitched and shrouded.
Not sure. I downloaded it forever ago on stream. Legacy 2 Annulment was released a few days ago, wasn't it? Steam.
At Quinn the Renegade was it.
There is a world beyond the borderlands. A world forged by wonder and ruled by fate. There's
This is the one that's
alone
like
who can wield fate.
Telltale.
One alone whose story
Is
is
that
in
right?
their own hands. The Fate Maker. That's you. Heavy, right?
I was never super
seek
big on
passage.
Borderlands.
I can
but
aid you.
It'd be interesting.
I am Valentine, gallant adventurer. The scary stabby one is Fred.
The undead fall beneath our blades.
Bunkers and badass.
Zero's Gaming Zero. Greetings. Welcome to the stream.
Now follow me.
I never played Borderlands or D&D, so I like this game.
And full of power. I'm invincible!
Looking bad.
You'll
How do
pitch
we
a
win
list
this?
cause it looks
We
like we have
attack!
similar libraries, but
Together!
no obligation.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man.
If you do pick one, I recommend ill gift it though.
No shit. All right.
That's a big boy. That's a big, big boy.
Sisters, I believe we have found our champion.
Oh, listen to me, lip flapping while you could be off adventuring.
Tina, you left a cheese curl on the board.
Mayhaps it is a powerful ancient meteor, and it begins to rise from the ground.
This isn't a blessing! It's a blasting!
The cheese curls made me giggle.
I was
Hold
gonna
on,
say.
what game are we playing here?
We're playing Bunkers and Badasses, baby!
We need more calcium out here!
Why not? That actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, what was the other one? Legacy.
Something different. Just wanted to
2?
suggest it.
Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Steam Summer Sale. We'll see.
Death Stranding 1/2, Medieval Dynasty, The Bloodline, Hardspace Shipbreaker, Enshrouded, X4.
Tried Shipbreaker, was not a huge fan. Medieval Dynasty, tried it. I did not get very far. I just kept dying
There
right
are a
away.
variety of different types and paces.
Bloodline. Hardspace I've not seen. Nor Enshrouded. X4 I've seen a little bit. Looks good. I just didn't get it. Let's see. The other one. I thought you recommended one. Somebody said one other one. Chris, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Okay. Let's try Medieval. Oh, no. The Bloodline. There we go. Oh. There we go. Oh, you got Wardruna for the soundtrack. It was like first-person Valheim, but more in-depth dungeon crawler. Flag Brothers, greetings and welcome to the stream. How's it going, bud? Not gonna lie, I do love the Norse folk music.
Summer routine of RPG with base building and crafting. Felt like first-person RuneScape almost.
Okay. Actually, that doesn't sound too bad. What's the other one? Hard Space. Actually, well, hang on. That actually looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. Hard Space. Oh, it's Hard Space. Shipwreck. Gotcha. Yeah, wasn't a huge fan of that one. That's okay. Enshrouded. By the way, I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me and trying to help me find a new game.
And it falls to you.
It is very helpful, and I appreciate
This is the age of
it.
decay.
EVJO, greetings. Welcome to the stream.
This is the moment of awakening. This is the time for heroes to crack the earth call fire from the sky, and claim the jewel of Ember Vale forever. To seize the land I could not tame, conquer your fear, forge your path, and strike at the fury of ancient malice. Immerse yourself in splendor, but do not trust in the deep. Pierce the shadows at your peril.
Codex Jen, greetings and welcome to the stream. How you doing today?
The brighter the lure,
Tonight.
the sharper the hook.
Obviously fishing.
The secrets of Vale
It's called
Water
RUSR.
will not surrender
That's
easily.
Willie, greetings. Welcome to the
thought
stream.
it was,
Can
but
take
it was
back.
just
Bruce
another
Sutter, Rust.
review of
Flameborn.
mixed emotions on it.
Glory
My
must
bad.
be earned. Myth
Rust.
and legend must be built from ember to empire. Rise, ignite, and
I
command
must have missed
the
whatever
waters.
Phoenix said. I don't see anything that would pertain to. Rust was very difficult for me to get into. I'm not great at PvP, and toxicity is real. Uncharted looks
They
pretty.
asked about the Hogwarts Legacy 2 release.
What the shit? Why did that not show up on mine? Oh.
Brothers, sisters,
I'd be down for Hogwarts Legacy 2 whenever that comes out, though.
is
On the
beautiful.
Freakshow server on Rust. $40 a month just an L.
His majesty.
Yeah, I don't play any games where I have to ruin someone else's day to have fun.
Yeah, it's kind of me too. I'm a lawful or at best chaotic good player.
They do a bad job of showing gameplay. This plays like Valheim, RPG-based builder.
They feast upon all flesh in return to indulge in their vanity. And
There's room for you on Bushwookie server, just saying.
But even as they exhilarate,
Right on. Well, I appreciate it, Willie.
across the land,
Yeah, I'm trying to find new games to play on PC specifically.
for the moon shall rise again.
Something that'll be, decent for stream.
To find
With open class skill system and tier progression system.
Ooh, I do like that.
our earth shall strike them, tempt them, toy with them.
I have all the quality of life mods, 15 of my own coded plugins.
Nice.
Pierce their dreams.
See, my thing is, though, I need, like I was telling them,
You
Willie?
unlock NPCs and then they have quests and things you need on different zones and have to defeat.
Right on. I need some kind of direction when I'm playing. Like, I like the free, open, I guess, sandbox kind of stuff, but I get bored of it real quick. Like, I'll get to a point where I'm self-sufficient, and then I'll get really bored.
Bosses to unlock parts, and tiers of miasma resistance so you always have goals.
Okay. Like that one that you said was like the
I
RuneScape
built
kinda-
zombies.
Built zombies. Nice.
Mid-open world but more linear. Now I am trying to think.
Okay. Now, shit, which one was it?
And we have skill trees. I turned Rust into an RPG.
Really? That's kind of interesting. Okay. What was that? Bloodline?
RuneScape like was Bloodline.
Wait. This is a different bloodline. What the shit?
I have been refraining from zombie raids.
Oh, I looked up the flow. That one looks pretty good. I've been refraining from something.
I still say you should give Moria a try.
Misty Mountains, Middle-earth, the fourth age of this world. Concerning dwarves.
Would not be
Dwarves
opposed
have
to Moria.
delved under the mountains since the first age. Mining, smithing, and
I'm developing a
carving
TikTok
our
live game right now.
Really?
It has been
Minecraft,
remarked
better.
by some that a dwarf's only
tap to
real
play game.
passion is for battle and treasure.
Okay.
A rather unfair
With
Pretty
how
interesting.
much I like
elven
Deep Rock
observation, as we
Galactic, I
also
need
hold
to
our
try
food and
this.
ale, dear.
All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost.
It's my second game.
Our reputations as
That's pretty
master
cool.
artisans precede us. As
I always
does
thought game
our
development would be
combat
pretty cool like that.
But where our hearts truly lie is in one another's company. For all dwarves share deep bonds of fellowship.
TikTok restricts the first game I
Now,
made.
in this new age,
Oh, that's
it
shitty.
is time. We dwarves return.
You have it
Home new
available
approach.
on any other sites or anything?
I also make games.
Yes, Brother Afik made a pretty interesting game as well.
And yes, that is Gimli.
It is.
TikTok live games are all MySpace HTML lol.
No shit. Man, I remember back in the MySpace days. Been a long time.
For rears.
Rip Tom lol.
Right? Yeah, ever since he got rich, he's just traveling the world, you know? At least that's the last I heard of him. I don't get. I'm sorry, I totally forgot if I actually said it, but I don't know if I've played any TikTok games. I'll be honest, I don't even know how to do that.
I'm 40 years young. I missed my midlife crisis.
Well, hey, that just means you're going to be like 90 to 100 before you die, right? I need to get my VR headset set back up so I can play shit like. Well, I don't really have any good VR games, I guess. But Blade and Sorcery is always good.
Probably
bit.
only have 10 more lol.
Yeah, I hear you
If
there.
you missed it, then you haven't reached it yet.
Exactly. Fear Meme was an interesting game. If you guys ever played that one, it's definitely a rage bait game.
No, I was just too broke.
You know, that's one I never
Death
got
Stranding?
started on.
It's very you
Need
have a
to.
task to achieve to move forward.
Crisis came and gone lol.
At what will he feel that?
Oh my god. On sale. I think I've got that on something. It's fuck. No. Oh my
I wish I got into Lodro and Star Wars Tour. I still plan on playing them. Lodro was decently fun.
Is what it is. Just give me a creek, a cabin, and some gold, I'd unalive happy.
Fair enough. I don't play beyond the creek in a cabin. That sounds nice. Star Wars: The Old Republic. I played a little bit of Old Republic, but I actually did more of Star Wars Galaxies as compared to Old Republic. Ugh.
Rust.
Oh shit, it's with Game
Yeah, I
Pass.
found it shortly before it's sunset and then life go busy.
On as well.
It's calling.
Free. It's cold.
Rust still
I wonder if that's on anything.
I am waiting for
free.
KOTOR to finally get its remastered finished.
Preparing today. Apparently not on that. Oh, of course I got update 20. Fuck.
He'll say it. I didn't mind Star Wars Outlaws.
KOTOR to finally get its remaster finished. Dude, that was awesome. I did like KOTOR. Ugh. Alright. Well, hopefully tomorrow I might try Death Stranding since it's free, and hopefully I'll download it by then. For now, thank you guys again so much for all the suggestions.
So this game
I
I'm making
really
can
do
be
appreciate
played by
it.
viewers
I will have to
while you're
try
playing
that.
your own game.
Damn it,
I realize
forget
how
the
many
name
of
of
these trailer pitch like movie trailers and not
it.
gameplay.
RuneScape like one.
You'll have to send you the Revan helm I
Yeah,
made for the
Bloodborne.
cosplay.
I'll have to send you Revan Helm. Ooh, that would be super cool. I love Revan. Of course, so does every sim. But But hey, guys, thank you again. Seriously, I appreciate all your time hanging out with me and suggesting all the games and all that. Super helpful. But as always, thank you very much. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, my friends. I hope you have a great night, great day. Take it easy.
Rust or dust?